How could this possibly go wrong? The best bets have had at least 4 and no more than 6 bets in a week this year. And guess what? We're going every conference championship game right here, all 9. Here we go. Let's start with Virginia playing Duke in a rematch. Hard to beat the same team twice, not when that team is Duke. The Blue Devils defense, interestingly enough, when you consider Manny Diaz was defensive coordinator at Penn State, does not have a good defense. It is not. The Virginia offense has had its moments. I really hope Chandler Morris is 100% for this game. If he is, give me the Cavaliers to win. They go to the college football playoff. They'll be the 11 seed. They'll probably play Ole Miss, and the Rebels will win a playoff game, I suppose. They'll win, and Lane Kiffin won't be there because, well, that's the college football world that we are in. So Virginia's favored by 3.5. All these lines, of course, provided by our friends at FanDuel. Virginia minus 3.5, 34-28. I think they beat Duke. Ohio State, Indiana, Buckeyes. Swallow the 4.5, 27-20. Look, Ohio State is such a complete football team. And guess what? Indiana is also a very complete football team. And Ohio State has a really good coaching staff. And Indiana has a really good coaching staff. Quick side question. Can someone answer why Indiana's coordinators haven't gotten serious buzz to be head coaches? The answer is probably agents. Isn't that curious? It's all about Cignetti. It's all about Cignetti. Do you even know the name of Indiana's coordinators? Yeah, you probably don't. You can look them up if you would like. They're still going to be the coordinators in 2026, which means Indiana will probably be a really good team in 2026. And I didn't have any doubts about that to begin with. So Ohio State minus 4.5. I'd rather be wrong picking Ohio State than picking against them when they're undefeated. And man, the last time they lost was that inexplicable rivalry game last year to Michigan. They just look like they're a team on a mission. They're getting healthy at wide receiver. They have just got answers everywhere that you look. They've got NFL guys everywhere you look. Their talent replacement from last year to this year has been incredible. Julian Sayin, I think, should be the Heisman Trophy winner. It's probably going to come down to who wins this game. That might be the biggest stakes outside of the Indiana playing Ohio State part. That might be the biggest thing to come out of this is the winning team probably has their quarterback go win the Heisman. Give me Ohio State 27-20. How about the Mountain West? There is a non-zero chance that UNLV winds up in the college football playoff. That's the world we're living in with head coach, wait for it, it's Dan Mullen. Head coach Dan Mullen could be in the playoff if he wins this game, an underdog of 3.5 points against 8-4 Boise State. Now, I don't look at Boise's record and discredit them at all because they've won the last couple Mountain West championships. They've beaten UNLV in big spots over and over again, and that ends this week. UNLV pulls what wouldn't be a huge upset, but is a slight upset at the very least. They're 3.5-point dogs. Obviously, they get it done. 31-27, I think they win. Love Anthony Calandria, the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year. UNLV's quarterback has played great. Their defense in the last month of the season has started to really improve, and I do not trust this Boise State offense. They have taken a big step back without Ashton Jeanty. Georgia against Alabama. Look, I really do, and I'm not saying this is likely because it isn't, I hope that Alabama is out of the playoff if they lose. I legitimately want that to be the case. I would like for that Florida State loss to hold the same weight that the Florida loss is holding to Texas. But is punishing a team for getting in the conference championship game fair? Well, you know what's really fair? Beating Florida State, and you wouldn't have that question to begin with. So I think that Georgia is the more complete football team. Bama's very one-dimensional. I like it. These are both really good game day adjustment head coaches, find a way to win. They've both shown that this year. Bama, of course, did it last week against Auburn. They beat Georgia earlier this season. I don't think Kirby Smart loses to the same team twice. He beat Texas twice last year. He doesn't lose to the same team twice in a season, at least not in my view. Georgia minus 2.5. I think they just win by a field goal. Good competitive game. 24-21. Bama probably makes the playoff. How about the American winner to the playoff? No questions asked. That's kind of fun. Tulane Getting 2.5 against North Texas. Tulane's the higher seeded team. I've had them ranked higher because my top 25 is, of course, almost exclusively driven by resume and nothing else. That's the way it should be, but that's not the way that this playoff committee works. Of course, they're getting 2.5, and I think they win. Not all the favorites are going to win this weekend. We know that happens every week in college football. And look, this is a coin flip, go either way sort of game. I think John Summerall has his defense ready to go enough. They've been bad against the pass this year. That is my biggest concern. I just have this sneaking suspicion they will find a way. They will escape with a win, and it's Jake Retzloff who outplays. Watch this. His total yardage will be higher than Drew Mestamaker's in this game. Give me Jake Retzloff. Give me the green wave. They win 31-27. Now, the other potential G5 playoff team would be James Madison, and that's only if Duke wins. I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, I've been wrong before, especially on this particular segment. James Madison favored by 23.5 against Troy. It won't be close. It will not be close. JMU rolls. Bob Chesney's going elsewhere. I don't think that's going to matter too much in this game, because JMU's just better. They have been steamrolling almost everybody they play. 23.5 is a big number. And I tell you, I have been bad. I have been straight up bad putting big numbers in the best bets this year. That's the number one pick I'd fade. But guess what? I'm sticking with it. I am sticking with it. 45-17, they beat Troy. They win the Sun Belt. How about Conference USA? Did you think the Conference USA Championship would be Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State? I didn't. Kennesaw State, a recent FCS jumper that is now in a conference championship game. Big spot, breakthrough spot against Rich Rodriguez's old team, Jacksonville State. Kennesaw State favored by 2.5. They win 28-24. Do you like Maction? I like a little Maction. I'm up for it. Miami of Ohio is getting 1.5 points. This coin flip game against Western Michigan, I got to be honest, I'm just picking this one on gut instinct. Miami of Ohio plus 1.5. They beat Western Michigan 29. Weird game because Maxon's weird. 29-26. 29-26, they beat Western Michigan. And of course, as I mentioned earlier in the show, BYU, I don't think they're winning. I do not believe they are going to win. No, sir. BYU, not getting it done. Doesn't happen. Not the way the Cougars roll. But I do think they cover. 28-20. Texas Tech wins the Big 12. BYU should be in the playoff anyway. I'm going to repeat that from now until the end of time. BYU should be in the playoff no matter what. Will they be? No, they have to win. I hope BYU's not going to win. Texas Tech, just a better team across the board. They haven't lost when Baron Morton plays. Maybe him getting dinged up is the biggest key for BYU. So BYU covers the 12.5. Appreciate everyone listening. Enjoy the football this weekend. I'll see you next time. And until then, hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.